In 1935, engineer Castaldi brought his final racing seaplane project to full operation, the Castaldi MC-72. The fastest racing seaplane in the world, confirming once again his fame as a fine designer and an excellent connoisseur of aircraft aerodynamics. The MC-72 was capable of flying at more than 700 km per hour. By securing a record, that of seaplanes with reciprocating engines, which is still his prerogative. In the same 1935, both in Germany and in Great Britain, two monoplane with inline engine were flown that would have formed the backbone of the military aviation of the respective nations. The Messerschmitt Bf 109 and the Hawker Hurricane, while the Supermarine Spitfire would have flown in March of 1936. The developments had not gone unnoticed in Italy. The Regia Aeronautica, in February 1936, issued the specification for an interceptor fighter capable of flying at 500 km per hour, climbing to 6,000 meters in 5 minutes. It was to be a low-wing metal monoplane with retractable landing gear. Castaldi, in 1935, had developed a single-seat metal fighter with low wing and retractable landing gear around the Fiat A80 engine. The Aeronautical Directorate, examining the engine proposals that the aeronautical companies had completed, realized that the only engine available with good but not excellent power and excellent reliability was the Fiat A.74. This engine was able to function very well even with the bad gasoline available to the Regia Aeronautica. While the Fiat A80 suffered significantly from this bad quality, with numerous malfunctions in the operating theater that made it an engine not well seen. So the Regia Aeronautica requested that the new interceptor fighter be equipped with the Fiat A.74, which also had a smaller front section than the more powerful A.80. This granted a better aerodynamical penetration. Castaldi, in order to participate in the competition, redesigns his aircraft around the much less powerful A-74 engine. The aircraft was flown in December 1937 and met all the competition specifications. In the first edition of the competition, the Macchi Fighter and the Fiat G50 were the winners. But the heads of the direction preferred to induce the competition again, in the hope of the arrival of an even more performance aircraft. So it had to wait until 1939 for the Macchi aircraft to be mass-produced, when this production could have started 2 years earlier with obvious benefits for the quality of the Regia Aeronautica flight line. Unfortunately, an inadequate study of the flight envelope that avoided the pilots being in the speed conditions that engaged the autorotation led to some accidents that greatly slowed the operational introduction of the new fighter in the departments. We witnessed a dramatization of the problem, with clear industrial war purposes, but a small modification due to engineer Stefanuti solved the problem. He eliminates the problem by altering the wing profile in areas where the stall is triggered, by adding thicknesses of glued balsa, covered with canvas and then painted. The work that led to the solution had required time and therefore delays in supplying the Regia Aeronautica, for which the entry into the war saw the Regia Aeronautica have only 100 Macchi, about 120 Fiat G50s and as many as 300 Fiat CR-42 biplanes. Italian fighter flight with open cabins due to the aversion of the pilots to mount a closed cabin for a problem of the canopy opening. and therefore unsuitable for colder climates, as shown by the bad behavior of the Italian Aviation Corps during the Battle of England, due precisely to this reason and to an approximate logistics. Apart from that, the AerMacchi fighter was a sturdy aircraft with excellent aerodynamics, well built, excellently maneuverable, excellent visibility, and, for the time in which it was built, well armed, at least up to and including 1941. In 1942, with the arrival of the more performing AerMacchi MC 202, the AerMacchi 200 passed to the role of fighter bomber with excellent results. However, the machines available were always very few compared to the quantity that would have been necessary, but this can be repeated for each aircraft of the Regia Aeronautica.